You know, desperation, right? Comes in many shapes, forms, sizes, and, well, situations. Say hello to ours. Now, in case you're not recognizing what in the world this thing is, these are our E7TE heads that came off the engine we're building when I first got it long time ago, right? I have been looking for a pair of iron heads, just something really cheap, something good to just slap on the 302 and just whip together a 302. You know, I mean, the thing in the Mustang, the 302 in the Mustang makes like 190 horsepower, 320 foot-pounds of torque, right? At least it did when I last dynoed it 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago. Lots happened since then. It's probably quite a bit better than it was back then, but it's still not that great, right? It's a worn out engine, right? Just looking for something fresh. Well, lo and behold, everything I find is either in rough shape to start with, is cheap enough for me to buy, but then the shipping cost about the same as the item itself, so therefore it's too expensive for me to buy, or is just no better than what I already have here, which is the, E7s, right? So, unfortunately, I guess we're just going to have to make do with what we got. I don't really know the condition of these things. I think the valve guides are okay. But they're not really that great of a cylinder head. So we're going to do our damnedest job in actually porting these heads. Something I know nothing about. Something I've never attempted in my life. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and that's what we're up to. Now we're just going to set the boundaries right away with this whole thing, okay? I know nothing about head porting. You know, I only know bits and pieces, right, on how to do it. So I'm not going to be holding myself up to a standard, I might make it worse. I don't know, but I'm going to do my best, right? But I'm not going to hold myself up to a standard that, oh, this has to be looking, really sharp. It has to be perfect, right? No. It's something inside the engine. It's something you can't see. I don't even, it's not something I am really, really concerned about. Unlike this other thing that I know nothing about, have no interest in ever doing again, the hood. I know nothing about bodywork. I know nothing about paint. I know nothing about any of this stuff. But it needs to be looking sharp because you see it. You see what I'm getting at here? It is the prime... Oh, it's black, by the way. It's this, fingers crossed, is the final paint. I'm just letting it bake in the 90 plus 100 degree weather inside the shed to really cure overnight, and then I'll be sanding it, wet sanding it tomorrow, and hopefully it will be done. But you never know. That will probably some will go wrong with that too. But unlike the hood everybody sees. It's a prominent part of the car. If I do a shitty job there, it's just going to look like a shitty job on the car, right? The heads, different story. Nobody's going to see them. Nobody's going to, nobody can see the ports, nothing like that. If I mess up something, well, oh well. If it doesn't look the best, if it's not perfect, if it's not doing it right, I'm not going to hold myself to the same standard as I am the hood. So this is not going to be an agonizing thing that's going to hopefully take months to do. I'm just going to whip it out and try to do my best, okay? There's the ground rules. Now, what exactly are we working with here, and what exactly am I even thinking I have to do to these things? Well, let's just run through it, huh? Alright, so there's three major areas with this head. The exhaust ports, right? The chamber, and the intake ports. As far as I know, the biggest restrictor of these things are the exhaust ports, so I guess that's what I gotta spend the most time doing. What am I going to be doing with them exactly? Well, I'm not entirely 100% confidently sure. I don't know how big I can make this. I mean, I can clearly see, you know, the carbon trail there. I don't know how much material there is, whether I'm able to just gasket match it to that or not. Usually, as far as I know, you're not supposed to touch the floor of the ports, only the top of the ports. So, but if they're that small to begin with, maybe cutting the floor wouldn't be such a bad idea. I don't know. But I know for sure I gotta get rid of this little hump in there. That's for the, I don't know, some EGR or something, another thingy mababo. So get rid of that giant hump and just overall just line of sight it. Just kind of make it, you know, the best it can be. Okay, well, I mean, that's what I'm working with on that side there. Really, that's going to extend into the bowl area. I mean, just from what I can see, it looks like there's a little bit here possibly. Maybe smooth that transition. Maybe smooth this. Oh god, there's a big, yeah, there's a big ridge right here, so maybe smooth that. Yeah, I don't know. What in the hell? Oh gosh, that's for the, oh, okay, I see. Oh, that makes more sense. That's for the, to heat up the intake manifold right there. I wonder how that affects flow. I don't know. Let's leave this one. Yeah, get rid of this hump right here, possibly. Kind of smooth this all out. Yeah, okay, so that's basically what we're looking at there. The chamber, well, I don't know, let's just take a look at it here. I guess this, to me, there's a giant ridge right here surrounding the valve. So I feel like that needs to be blended, because sharp ridge probably isn't the best for flow. There's a sharp ridge right here too, so maybe possibly blend this plateau so it's not all sharp. Yeah, clean it up a little bit. Maybe, I think there's some material here, so maybe we could come in here and just kind of de-shroud the valve area right around here a little bit. There's really no point in de-shrouding up here because all the airflow is coming this way anyway, so just around here a little bit. And pretty much just kind of soften everything up. It doesn't look like the exhaust is going to be shrouded at all, so yeah, so it should come up here and swirl around into the exhaust. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I'm seeing on the port, or the not the port, the combustion chamber there. Intake, get rid of all of this nonsense here and blend that to where it's just a peak. And I mean, this doesn't really look too bad. Like I said though, there's like this ridge right here. I don't know what that's all about. All I know is ridges and sharp edges aren't good for flow, so if this is the seat, then possibly the rest of this metal is unnecessary, and just kind of blend that right to the seat. Not sure. I'll have to get a valve and actually look at it. Okay, well, I mean, I'm just bringing you guys along for the ride as I'm looking at this thing. Because like I said, I know nothing. Well, that's the push rod hole, I think, right? Yeah, push rod hole, so kind of I'll have to see exactly how much of that I can remove before it becomes an issue. Because that's the biggest, just line of sight, that's the biggest thing that's impeding airflow there. I mean, otherwise the intake doesn't look all too bad, really. It's mostly just working on that. Yeah, and there's a little ridge right here too, so kind of maybe touch this up. That's the short side, don't want to do too much to that, but maybe just polish that out a bit. Well, you know, that really shouldn't be too bad then. That is my basic plan of attack with these things. I'm not really looking to do anything too radical. There's a little bump on the top of each one of these. I wonder what that's all about. Yeah, like I said, I'm not looking to do anything too radical. Just kind of, you know, just get them to flow a little bit more, right? Like I said, I think the biggest issue is the exhaust on these things, so that's probably where I'm going to spend most of my time, trying to improve it. My only concern is breaking through into a water jacket, or possibly making it too thin to where when it's running and it heats up it breaks through, cracks, something like that. You know, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about what I'm doing, but yeah. If you guys have suggestions on how to go about porting these things, feel free to leave it down in the comments for me, because I will read them, and I'm sure I'll do a little bit of research on these things before I really start hogging anything out. But yeah, that's my plan of attack, is just really work on the exhaust ports, soften up the combustion chamber, and just mainly work on the bowl area inside the intake port. Just get rid of that big hump around the valve stem guide, and just kind of out of here fly. Work on that. Then once I'm done porting them, I will send them to the machine shop and get them cleaned up. I was gonna have them cleaned up first, but I figured there's no point cleaning them up if I'm going to, you know, be grinding on it anyway. So I'll just do all my grinding, then I'll send it to have it cleaned. So that should be fine. Yeah, there's a lot of corrosion inside here. God damn. Oh, I guess I can, well, no, not, yeah, a little bit. I can kind of gauge, oh, there's quite a bit of metal in between there. I can use these ports to kind of gauge how much area I have to work with. Oh, that's pretty nifty. Never even thought about that. I can kind of gauge how much material I have through these water passages here. Okay, that's the update. That's the plan. That's what we're going to be doing. We got to get these things done so that we can, you know, get the 302 done. I have bearings, so we're going to be assembling the short block here soon. Very grateful donation. I mean, you know, to the point where I almost feel bad for even accepting it. Nick McMahon? Well, you know, this guy right here. Sorry, your last name there, well, you know, last channel name is kind of hard for me to pronounce, but God, you know, very generous donation from him. He's sending some 302 stuff, some pistons, rods and stuff. I think they're factory forged stuff, so definitely putting that to good use with this whole thing. And oh, these already have the, oh, I was looking for those. Anyways, that's it for now, and I'll catch you next time. Again, thank you, Nick, and wish me luck, everybody. I mean, I started just a little bit. So let me show you kind of what I got so far. You know, it's actually not too bad. I do notice a few things about porting though. So I mainly just worked on the chamber so far because I quickly found out the tools that I got, you know, are not doing a dang thing. So I'm gonna have to get actual cutters. They're expensive. All right, but anyways, here's the chamber. And as you can see, I softened all the edges, right? All this is all nice and soft now. All this, I softened all of that. This, I got rid of this giant, you know, ledge. I made it nice and kind of smooth, right? I tried to level it with that star, or, well, whatever you call it there. Tried to level it with this right here, so that was all level. You know, help, you know, induce swirl or pour, I don't know. This, I kicked this out right up to about here and just kind of laid it in. I don't know if, I think I'm going to go just a bit further. I'm using that, you know, all this carbon is basically, you know, just as good as that, because that is the size of the cylinder right there. So I know for a fact that I am pretty much right there. Yeah, I got just a little bit of leeway room so far. You know, that's what it was. That's what we got, so I leaned that over quite a bit actually. And I made just room for this intake valve to, you know, get things and stuff out here, right? Because it's up here, just, you know, it's got a place to go now. Is that it? Yeah, I softened all that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I tried my best to get rid of, I don't know what this ridge is all about. I don't know if that's, I don't think that's the actual seat. That's the seat right there, you know, which I was extremely careful not to touch. I totally didn't, like, nick that a bunch of times already. That's kind of why I didn't, you know, I'm doing all this work first. That way, you know, all the finish work, the stuff that matters, you know, reseating this and just, you know, all that won't really matter too much as long as I don't gouge it, you know. But yeah, this right here, I softened it. I mean, it's still a little ridge, but it's soft, you know, it's better. This side didn't have one, which surprised me. Yeah, so that's what we got so far. Not too shabby. I mean, I can't really do much in here with the tools I have so far. I kind of massaged in there just a little bit until I realized, yeah, this ain't gonna work. I have no idea what this is all about. You see that? There's like a, here's the seat, and then the seat kind of almost recesses in, and then there's the rest of it. You see that? There's a little ledge there. So I have no idea what that's all about. I don't know if, you know, like up to here it feels relatively, you know, this wall feels relatively parallel with the seat face. There's just a little ridge, and then it seems like it concaves, which you don't really want the air to be, you don't want it to be undercut, right, is what I'm trying to say. It feels like it's undercut in there, that groove. So I don't know what that's all about. That's kind of crappy, but oh well. You know, I attempted grinding that down, but I can't get to it from here with the tools we got, so that's gonna have to wait. Yeah, you can see I did a little bit in there. But that's it. That's all we got going on so far. That's basically what I'm gonna be doing to all the rest of them. And well, hopefully that's the right thing to do. I mean, it makes sense to me, but, you know, I don't know. Just because it makes sense to me doesn't mean it's necessarily the right thing to do, I suppose. But it is what it is. Okay, now I'll catch you next time. Just had to show you that real quick.